So what I thought I'd show here is different ways that you really can get a lot more out of an individual patch than you might think at face value. So I'm going to walk through what I all put together in this patch. So I have the Boss Tone Studio pulled up, and that's obviously what you're seeing here. So if you look at my effects chain, so we have obviously the guitar input, the wah pedal. I really don't use it for this patch. This is kind of a jangly AC30, Vox AC30, just starting to break up kind of patch. And for this kind of a sound, I use compression most of the time. So I have the X comp set up, and that just stays on the whole time. No switching involved. My amp setting, as we can see, it is the, well, for the GT-1000, that is called the Diamond amp, is the AC30. And here's essentially what it's going to sound like. I have a Strat plugged in right now. Okay, noise suppressor, really, yeah, set to 0, so it might as well be off. The other thing I have that stays on the whole time is on this patch, I took the harmonist effect and really just made it kind of a very subtle doubling effect. Which, you know, oftentimes 25 milliseconds is what we think of with that. I have it set at 30. Again, very subtle, but it just makes the whole patch kind of wide, adds width to the patch. So then what I'm doing here, I have Control 3 is set up as a tap tempo for the delay. Control 2 is a delay sound. Control 1 is a chorus. Where that might initially be the end of that patch, what I started doing for a lot of my banks now is I mostly get by with four settings per bank. So I started using number 5 to trigger something else. So in this case, this is my overdrive pedal. So you can just go into the control section, control function, and set that for whatever you want. In this case, I added an overdrive. Very cool, I guess, chicken picking sound there, but to me that works really well for anything in that if I'm playing rhythm guitar with that kind of a vibe. Kick that back off. And once again, that could be the end of the patch, but being that in my banks, I'm using most of the time now 4 patches per bank. I realized that in this case, since this is the second patch in the bank, once you've pulled up that patch by pressing 2, you can also assign something to number 2 on that same patch, and you get you have 1 extra trigger. So in this case, I also put a rotary effect there, and we can see this. That's right here. In this patch, since I really don't use a volume pedal so much for this patch, what I did is I went into the control section and I assigned the expression pedal to control the rotary speed. And to do that, you'd have to go to expression 1, and I set that to, in this case, pedal effects. So it can still trigger the wah pedal, but the important thing that it does is it disengages the volume pedal. And very important here is make sure you have that also set to patch, not system. Otherwise, it'll change that for all of your patches. So then if I go to assign, edit, make sure that's turned on, you're going to have to go through all of these and make sure, in my case, it's effects 3. But if I assigned that to effects 2, it's not going to trigger it, or effects 1. So you have to find the exact effect and exact parameter that you want to control. But in this case, you go to rotary, select speed, source, expression 1, and being that it's the expression pedal and not just one of the buttons, if I set that to toggle, it wouldn't behave the same. In other words, what I want to do is toe up. I want that to engage the fast speed. Toe heel down, I want it to be slow. So you would need to change that from toggle to moment. And that's also just a very by hitting number 2, I disengage that effect. Once again, as you can see what I'm running here, compression into the, I'm using the natural overdrive. Kick that off. The diamond amp or the AC30. Subtle doubling. Chorus. I'm using this the CH1 because yeah, for this patch I really was wanting kind of that nice boss chorus kind of sound. Add delay. With the tap tempo, I can make that anything. Give it a little bit more rockabilly or country, kind of a... So once again, very versatile, useful patch.